Hi everyone. So, doing a quick video before I go to work. And I'm doing this video because I found out recently the numbers for Jurassic World. And Jurassic World in its second week has made a box office total domestically of $398,230,000. Globally, $981,333,000. The movie is roughly 19 million shy of $1 billion in just under 2 weeks, or just about 2 weeks. That is absolutely freaking mind-boggling. I really did like Jurassic World. I would maybe even go so far as saying I loved Jurassic World. I mean, it's not Jurassic Park, but you shouldn't compare it or anything like that really that much. I can make an entire other video why people should not be hating on Jurassic World as much as they are. But still, the question is, why is it making it? Because in its first week, it made the number one amount of money you can make for a movie. It's the highest grossing opening weekend now in history right now. Roughly, I think, 200 and, what was the opening weekend? Oh, 208 million when the numbers were adjusted. And I'm sure these numbers will be adjusted as well, too. So, it made that, and it's domestically, it made 511 million worldwide in its opening weekend. What is the key to its success? Now, I really enjoyed the movie, I did, but even I've got to say, that's astounding. That is just amazing. And I mean, good for it, absolutely. It's made all its money back and then some in 2 weeks. I wish some movies could be that, profitable. I wish, like, Edge of Tomorrow was that profitable. I wish, even Tomorrowland was at least somewhat profitable. Sadly, Tomorrowland's kind of bombed a bit. Which sucks, because Tomorrowland was not a bad film. It lost something, I think. So the question is, what is making this so successful? And I think that it plays into a couple factors. One, it's been nearly almost 15 years now, it's been well over a decade since the last Jurassic Park, so people were hungry for another Jurassic Park movie. It's been so many years since we've seen a Jurassic Park movie on the big screen, so many years since we've seen decent dinosaur effects. We've seen a couple dinosaur effects, and some of them were okay. Like, even as much as Land of the Lost with Will Ferrell's not a good movie, the T-Rex effect is actually a pretty good effect. But it's been a long time since we've just been in this world. And I think that's one of the things. It did capture some, not the full-on magic of the original, but definitely some of the magic of the original, where we're kind of again back in awe a little bit of these things. Like, it's been so long since we've seen these on big screen. I think people have been hungering for that, and I think that's helping them bring them back to theaters, bringing new folks in. Another thing that plays into the factor with that is that the likability of the movie as a whole. Now, you can make the argument that it's not a good movie, it is a good movie. Some people are on the fence or don't like it, whatever. That's fine. Overall, though, the vast majority of people are obviously liking this movie a lot and going back for repeated views. I've seen it 3 times. I might see it one more time. Who knows? 3 is usually my cutoff limit, unless I've supremely enjoyed. I can't really think of any movie I've actually seen where I've seen it more than 3 times in theaters. But who knows? And it's just a fun ride, man. This is what a summer movie usually, I think, should be like. It's not going for Oscars. It's not going for the awards terribly, unless we're talking maybe like special effects or something like that. In which case, I'm not even sure they'd win for special effects. There's been some good special effects work this year. We're not even halfway. We're only barely halfway through the year right now, so let's wait to see about that. But it's not going for anything. It knows what it is, more or less. It knows that it is nothing more than a big popcorn monster flick, and that I think helps bring more people back. They just want a fun time at the movies, and Jurassic World's a fun time at the movies, especially that last 20 minutes. Oh my god, the last third of this movie is amazing. I love the last third. I actually saw it again last night because I had nothing to do, and about halfway through the movie, I started having some stomach issues due to some I had to use the restroom, unfortunately, and I was in there for like maybe 15. I was having some stomach issues. But I'm just like, you know what? I've seen the movie twice now. I'm not missing anything. I know that. And as much as I do like the movie as a whole, I'm like, the middle part is where it slows down just a bit, right before the whole pterodactyl attack. And I'm like, okay, as long as I get back before the last part of the movie, I'm fine. And I got back before the pterodactyl attack, so I'm like, okay, I get to see the pterodactyl attack. Whatever, I'm good. And then I just continue enjoying it from there with a settled stomach. So it's one of those things. If you've seen it multiple times now, you can be like, okay, I can take my time now with this movie. Go, if I have to use the restroom, I'll just calmly walk out of the restroom and then go back and enjoy the movies when I want to enjoy the movie. And that helps. The characters are likable for the most part. Chris Pratt is a believable action hero. That's one of the things. A lot of people were worried about Chris Pratt. No, he's sold the fact that he can be an action hero and not just be that quirky Chris Pratt character he plays. Bryce Dallas Howard was pretty good. Ephraim Khan was good. Vincent D'Onofrio, cartoony but enjoyable to watch. The kid actors were pretty decent. I mean, the older son was a little unlikable for the first half, but then he grew. His character arc, really kicked in. You're like, okay, I like this character now. So I think they were all really good. They all worked for the characters they were given. The effects, for the most part, were pretty good. Watching again, I did notice some of the effects on the dinosaurs were definitely a little iffy. But for what it was worth, it was still really good effects, I thought, especially when they actually used animatronics. And when they blend the animatronics and the animation together. So overall, it's a fun experience. But another thing that I think plays into a factor, this is twofold on this. One, the last two Jurassic Park movies were not as well received. Last one we had was, I think, in 2003. And Jurassic Park 3, while making money, is widely considered the worst of them, especially with the Spinosaurus just taking out the T-Rex. That pissed a lot of fans off, me included. I mean, it's still a fun movie, but it's not very good. I'm like, you got Sam Neill back, man, and this is a waste of a movie. This is essentially what Jurassic Park 3 should have been. Actually, this is honestly what Lost World kind of should have been. Even though The Lost World I don't think is bad. I actually like The Lost World okay. But it's been a long time since we had a good Jurassic Park movie, and I think people have been hungering for that as well, not just for the fact that we just wanted our movie on the screen. But the biggest reason I think that this movie is doing well is that the movies that would be taking a lot away from its revenue right now, well, not the biggest reason, but one of the biggest factors is that a lot of the movies that would normally have been taking away from its revenues, its income, the amount of money it'd be making, like Avengers, Mad Max, what was another one that came out? Avengers, Tomorrowland, you can even say Tomorrowland may have taken some away from that. And those movies, they've been out now for weeks. Avengers is reaching its end run in the movie theaters now. Mad Max is slowly creeping up in that end runs phase area. So Tomorrowland, it basically bombed, unfortunately. So it has not run into a lot of competition, really, that's going to take away from it. Inside Out made roughly $92 million this weekend domestically. That's great. That's fantastic. It still didn't take away from its Jurassic World's box office, which made roughly $102 million domestically this week. So, and let's be clear, Inside Out did take some away from Jurassic World. If Inside Out actually hadn't been coming out this week, Jurassic World would have made more money. It probably took away maybe a good $40 million of that. I would be willing to say it took at least $40 million of Jurassic World's money away, but who cares? It's made nearly $1 billion. It's going to reach the billion mark next week, absolutely. Now, what I think is going to maybe beat Avengers 2, Fast and the Furious 7. Is it going to get into that that $1 billion club? It's going to get into the $1 billion club. That's a given. But is it going to get into that $1 billion club? I don't know if it's going to get that high. I wouldn't be surprised if it made maybe $1.2 billion by the end of its run. But once you get into the third weeks, it really starts to wind down. Guardians of the Galaxy is a example of an exception where it had no competition whatsoever basically going against it. So people kept going back to see it because it was so fun and enjoyable. And they kept recommending it to people. So Guardians of the Galaxy is like one of those exceptions to the rule, and it made $700 million or something like that. It became one of the highest grossing box office movies of that year. But Jurassic World, Inside Out, let's be clear, Inside Out, while it did take some of its money away, was not primed necessarily to the demographic of Jurassic World solely. It was primed towards families and kids and things like that. Jurassic World's primed more towards, it is primed towards fans, but it's primed towards a slightly older audience. Because I saw people bring kids in, and some of them had to take their kids out because they were scared. Let's see, so dinosaurs can still be scary. There are some moments in here that could scare some kids. Nothing serious, but enough that you could get a good jolt. So that's That's the thing. Inside Out did not take. I mean, it took some money away, but nothing that stopped Jurassic World from still being #1 in the box office. But next week we got Ted 2. The following week after that, we got Terminator Genesis and Magic Mike XXL. Now, the Magic Mike I wouldn't think would take much away from Jurassic World. Terminator, you better be damned that's taking some away from Jurassic World. Ted 2 is probably going to take some too, because that's an R-rated comedy. That's already taking some of your more adult demographic away from Jurassic World. So Jurassic World dropped over 50%, but like just only barely 51%, and still made 102 million. If I were to guess, next week it's maybe going to come, even out roughly about 50-something million. It's probably going to take another 50% dive after that, because once Ted 2 comes out, Ted 2 is going to definitely take some of that money away from Jurassic World, just because another R-rated comedy. We haven't actually had, as far as I can tell, because 22 Jump Street was last year. So we haven't had actually any real good R-rated comedies this year. In fact, I can't think of any R-rated comedies that came out this year, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head. If you know of an R-rated comedy that came out this year that did okay, yeah, let me know. Or at least what came out, let me know. I mean, you can make the argument here. So Kingsman's kind of a comedy, but it was an action comedy, fun movie. So, yeah, Jurassic World's success plays in a lot of things, but, I mean, I don't think anyone saw this coming at all. At all. And, you know, God bless it. I miss Jurassic Park movies, man. I've missed Jurassic Park-like movies. So I'm glad it's doing as well as it has. So, that's my thoughts on that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. As I will constantly be saying throughout this next couple of videos, seeing as I'll be probably doing trailer reactions and movie news and stuff like that. We'll be seeing Ted 2 this week, as I mentioned. And, you know, as I just said, it's coming out, so it's going to take some money away from Jurassic World. And that'll be me and Mark. I don't know if we'll have a review up for that. Not, I'll do a short review like I did for Inside Out. Just keep tuned for whenever we get that Inside Out review. Hopefully it'll be out relatively soon. But thanks for watching, and see you next time.